What are you guys doing? You guys are protecting the cars? There's Athena. There's Cleo for Cleopatra. You guys are good? Enjoying the AC? There is no AC in here. It's hot, it's miserable. You okay, baby? You're okay, you okay? You guys are all right. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm George, this is Malaka Motorsports. So, tomorrow we're taking the Widebody to Turbo Joe's. We hit a bit of a snag. I went to drive the car to work today, and she started leaking fuel from the fuel rail. So from the fuel rail, we started spitting fuel and having some issues here, just dripping. And I tightened it down a little bit more, replaced the O-ring, removed it, trying to see what the hell was going on. I checked on the inside of that fitting, and it had a little bit of damage. So it wasn't having a really good seat on it, on the face of it. So the 180 fitting seized itself on there. So I had to manhandle it off. So this was a 180 8AN fitting, and I actually had to cut it off. And this was a reducer. So this went 8AN, and then it reduced itself down to a 6AN. So if you look at it, the material, it's a really thick B-nut, more or less, and it turns itself into a 6AN, and I couldn't find the part number for it. So I ended up just ordering from Vibrant a new 180 that's just 8AN, and then getting a reducer that would go 8AN to 6 on the fuel rail. So essentially what this is going to do is go on there, and then the 8AN will just bolt on it as if it was meant to be there. And it's an 8AN feed line, so it probably should have been like this in the first place. But while I was doing that, I also, I was an idiot. I ended up destroying, and let me move this out of the way. I know shit's all over the place, guys, I'm sorry. So this is the feed rail. It comes through the firewall on the back and then fed through here. But as I was removing the fitting here, I ended up destroying a lot of the wire mesh in the line. And I don't want to reuse it because now the line on the inside is pretty much destroyed. So I'm not sure it's going to provide a really good seal. So luckily I have extra 8AN fuel line that's braided. I also noticed towards the back of the firewall, I forgot to put the rubber around it. And I guess during driving, and this is just rubbing on the inside of this hole, ended up cutting the braid on this, and it's to the rubber. So this would have started leaking regardless after a while. So I'm gonna cut the fuel line here, put a fitting, a little connection mate, a little male, double male in the middle, and then we're gonna bring it around. I'm gonna put a little bit of rubber gasket around here so it doesn't damage any more fuel line, and we'll be running new line going all the way to the front. And I already installed the new 180 on the new line. So new, undamaged, true 8AN line on the inside, and that's where we're going to be installing. So these are the type of things that happen. This is literally, like, I've been waiting for Turbo Joe to open up some scheduling. Obviously the guy's really busy. I mean, every time you go there, he's got like 50,000 like, you know, Toyota Supras there, or other cars that he's doing and tuning and building. So I had to wait a while in order to get a spot to get my car in for more tuning and more fueling. So it would be our luck, or my luck, the day before I'm supposed to take the car over there, she springs a leak. So we're gonna replace the fuel fittings. Hopefully I don't have any leaks. We'll start her up tonight. And then first thing in the morning, we're gonna take her over to Turbo Joe down near LA. And the plan is I'm gonna bring my injectors there, which I'll show you now in a second, and the surge tank, which I haven't installed yet. And there's a reason why we haven't installed it yet. The current configuration on the car is for the current setup for the fueling. So we made 750 wheel, 1400cc injector, one brushless fuel pump in the tank, and that's pretty much it. If I throw bigger injectors or throw the surge tank on there, which by the way, I don't even trust myself wiring, Joe did pretty much all the wiring on the engine harness and the tuning and the wiring to the Haltech display, which you guys see on the dash here. I'll show you guys real quick. If you haven't seen it before, it's the Haltech IQ3 digital display, and then we made a billet mount, so it mounts in there and it looks like a factory dashboard. Actually, it's pretty cool. I'll put a screenshot up so you guys can see it. But yeah, I'm gonna take over the surge tank, which I'll show you now. So our radium, and then the fuel injector clinic that we modified with spacers to fit common to the length on the head. 2150 cc's versus the 1400 cc's that we currently have in the car. So as you can see, I'm not going to throw these on. I'm not going to install the injectors now. It doesn't make any sense to. I'm going to have to drive the car over an hour down to Turbo Joe near LA, and then he'll be able to throw them in, or I can throw them in when we bring the car there. It doesn't matter. But that's the plan. So hopefully nothing else leaks. I'm about to swap the fitting out there, cut the line, add the two female fittings, make that little extension, replace this little run of line, this little section of line, and hopefully we have no more leaks. We'll do a start. I'll put the camera right up to the fitting, so if it leaks, you guys can see my instant fail. But the point is, I need more power in this car. So in order to have that, we needed more fueling. So 1400cc injector now to 2150, and then a single brushless inside the tank to now dual pump inside a radium surge tank should be enough of what we need. And the reason why we went with a surge tank, I plan on racing with this car. I know it's a B5. I plan on racing and competing with this car. Having a surge tank is going to give me that much more of an edge. I can have more weight reduction in the car. I don't have to run as much fuel. So there's a lot of benefits with surge tanks. If you guys want, I'm not going to insult anyone's intelligence here. You guys probably know 30,000 times more about cars than I do. YouTube surge tanks, there's a lot of really good write-ups on the benefits of them, the reason why people do them. So the setup on this is that the surge tank is so small and kind of cool, so it's not going to take up that much more room, and I'm not going to have to replace the actual fuel cell. So I'm going to be using the stock fuel tank, use the current pump that we have inside the tank to feed the surge tank, and then the return line coming back off the motor is going to always keep that filled with fuel as well, so the surge tank will always be pressurized. It's pretty cool. Check it out, guys. If you guys are looking to make big power and maybe even compete, go drag racing, maybe even go circuit racing, and you're not, you don't want to be worried about starvation or anything like that, look into a surge tank setup. It's pretty impressive technology, and it's also pretty simple. So I'm excited to get it installed. I'm excited to get this car retuned. I'm excited to make more power. 750 wheel currently. I'd like to make 850, 900 wheel as is. Built motor, 2.8, 24 valve VR6, stock cam, but fully built long block. I'll include the parts list of my motor inside the description if you guys want to check it out. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm looking to upgrade cams later on in the year. If you guys are running 24 valves, let me know what you guys suggest. I'm actually looking for options now. I'm not too familiar with throwing cams on. I'm reaching out to a few friends of mine that know really about these cars, but I want to see what you guys know. Maybe you guys can give us some suggestions. If you want, you can even put it in the comments below. Shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, whatever you want. Let us know what your thoughts are. Anyway, I'm going to throw this line on. I'm going to get this car started, and in the morning, we're going to get this car over to Turbo Joe. So, without further ado, guys, wish me luck, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Made a new line, spliced it in the middle. Not what I really wanted. Originally I designed it so one line went from the pump all the way to the front, but obviously I didn't anticipate damaging anything. So I have the line in here, and the reason why it's in the bucket, we're gonna turn the ignition on, we're gonna cycle the fuel pumps. So anything during the swedging process when I was installing these fittings, if it got into the lines, instead of it getting into the injectors, it'll come out and just go into the bucket. I even have a rag there to keep it from like flowing all over the place. So we'll give it a, just let it flow for a few seconds. It pumps out a shit ton of fuel. Ooh. As soon as we turn the key, it will just start doing its thing. And it's purging, 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 purging. Come on, stop. Stop. Hopefully it did its thing. And it filled this whole thing up with fuel. Yay. So now I'm just gonna drain the rest of it. Let it sit there for a second. And that's it. I'm gonna hook this, route it inside, hook it up, and then we're gonna start this bad boy up. And then we should be ready tomorrow to take her to Turbo Joe. Let's see what happens. All right, so here's the moment of truth. New 8AN line and fitting, pretty much on the fuel rail. The 180 and the new line that's not damaged, and then the little female to female, male to male piece have been added in the center. Let's start her. We'll give her a start. It's a little late here today. I don't want to piss off any of the neighbors. Luckily, my car is the quietest out of the two between Stav's and mine. So let's start this bad boy up. Gotta let it prime. started. Now hopefully we don't have a leak. That doesn't look like it's leaking. Check here. No leak. Alright, we're rolling. We are good. Now I'm going to let the lines go. Make sure we don't have any sweating to make sure that the swedge is took pretty much, if you want to call this a swedge. The one thing I will say is that in the future, I will get professionally swedged lines to just measure them out and have them done. Did that for the turbo feed. Ended up loving it. And I also did it for the oil feed going for the turbo. And look how beautiful these lines are. Small, crimp, professional. And they even have a smaller silhouette. Look how fat these lines are, because I had to manually kind of swedge them and put them together. So in the future, yeah, I think I'm going to go with these professionally swedged lines. Yeah, let's turn this off so we don't wake up the neighborhood. Look at the dashboard. All right, well, so we're good now. We don't have any leaks. Should I take her for a quick test drive? I'm gonna take her for a quick test drive. It's dark. I don't think you guys can see much, but in fact, maybe we should do it in the morning. We'll do it in the morning. A little test drive around the block, make sure she's good. No leaks, no issues. We're gonna drive it straight to Turbo Joe. So, was it chaos? Tragedy averted. Tragedy averted. And now we can take her over to Turbo Joe's. So guys, hopefully we make a lot more power. I got some surprises on what we're gonna be doing with this car within the next few weeks, the options that I'm going with, and we'll get more into detail on the second part of this video. So we'll see you guys in the morning, and hopefully you guys enjoy the time lapse and the video running footage that's yet to come. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Look at that sexy beast. So the last time we were here, the car was very rough. A lot of the manifolds weren't coated, lines weren't really properly done, catch can wasn't really set up. It was kind of just hanging over the intake manifold on the driver's side. Now it's mounted, ran two, was it 12 AN lines that we ran to the valve cover. We're here for some modifications to the harness, things that we noticed that can work a little bit better.
I have a question. Why is every 24 valve VR6 update always at another shop? Huh. Interesting. Crazy. Your car has seen every shop from on the West Coast.
Shut up, man. Shut up. But we are here for more power here at Turbo Joe's. You know, we're currently making 754 wheel in the car. Really excited to really push the boundaries. There's some tweaks on the Haltech dashboard that I want, some interface changes. There's some wiring changes, things that I want a little bit differently, so we're here for that as well. But main big upgrade is going to be the injectors, 2150s that we got from Fuel Injector Clinic, and then it's going to be the surge tank that we're putting basically in the back of the trunk. Really excited. You know, the surge tank gives us a few availabilities. It gives us the opportunity to A, push the fueling system past what it currently can run, and B, now I don't have to have a full tank of gas if I ever want to go race competitively. So I can have literally less than a quarter tank, still have plenty of fuel in the surge tank system, and go do a run and not worry about, you know, leaning out or having fuel cut for not having enough fuel or having fuel slosh. So that's like one cool thing about the surge tank that I'm really excited about, is that in a way, instead of just upgrading the pumps inside the tank, now we're going with an external system that a lot of race cars, a lot of race systems use. So I'm really excited about that. And that's it, guys. That's it. You guys have been with us since the beginning of this journey, pretty much on Instagram, Facebook, that we started years ago, and now it kind of transferred into the YouTube. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. I know you guys want to see like updates and videos every day. We're going to try to get on that a little bit more. If you want up-to-date, everyday pictures of what's going on, please check out our Instagram. It's Malaka Motorsports. Check out our Facebook. It's also Malaka Motorsports. For you guys who can guess, on the next 24 valve VR6 update, what shop George's car will be at next? You get a free t-shirt and you get a ride on the tow truck to the next shop. That's not true. That is actually true. Yeah, that is actually true.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I guess that's one of the struggles of dealing, you know, with the car industry, is that you end up going through so many shops that say they can do the work, end up being flops. So one cool thing about Turbo Joe's is we came here, he did the job right the first time, tuned the car runs super smooth, and we're back here again to make more power and tweaks and updates to the car. So I think Turbo Joe and Iros Motorsport is probably the two most consistent shops that I use. Obviously the RS3 with Iros Motorsport, and now the B5 with Turbo Joe. And plus he also has a B5 and it's silver. So I mean, he's probably the most awesome guy in the world, and he loves rare paint. So you can't hate on that. Obviously rare silver, it's actually you know, it's a beautiful combination. So you gotta love that aspect. So that's pretty much why I'm here, because he's a silver B5 S4 owner. Or maybe that's why I shouldn't be here. I don't know. I heard they work on Audis here. Trying to negotiate things with Turbo Joe. You trying to go faster? You gotta stay slow, my man.
I mean, how am I staying slow when I already beat you, so you admit that you're slower? What happened the last time you raced, George? What happened the last time?
So Turbo Joe, you comfortable working on Audis or what, my man?
Lately, there's very little Audis around.
Man, the two Audis that we have are both silver here, so that tells you something. You know?
Yeah,
we got a high-powered running 2.7.
That also tells you something.
It all goes with the demand, you know. I started with Volkswagen Audis, then got smothered with a bunch of Hondas, then next phase is a bunch of 2JZ swaps and Supras, and in between I do Porsche, so it depends, I guess. Whatever demand is at the moment.
Okay. Nice.
It always changes, right?
So what's going on with this truck?
I just putting together a simple setup have some fun at the truck. 2JZ swap engine.
Oh, something simple is a 2JZ swap.
TH400.
Only you would say that. Jesus. Something simple, nothing crazy, just a fully built 2,500 horsepower.
It's a stock motor.
Is it a stock motor?
Stock motor.
Top to bottom?
100% stock.
Always the fastest, man. You put a stock motor in any car.
So let me ask you, how much power can you confidently make on a stock block 2JZ?
This is a 2JZ VVTi engine, so it's a little bit weaker, but on day-to-day base, we could bring it up to 700 safe.
Nice. Wheel?
Yeah.
Nice, very nice. 700 wheel. And how much wheel torque do you think stock block it could hold?
If 700 will probably be somewhere like a 6 and change torque.
That's awesome. That's nice.
Like low 6 for sure. The car is light, it honestly doesn't need a lot of power. 650, 700 will be plenty for this car. This car doesn't weigh much.
Oh, it is pretty gutted. What is he gonna be doing, half mile?
No, he wants to do a quarter.
Quarter mile?
Yeah.
I can tell, yeah, look at the tires.
You ever see that truck that goes to the races that has the long one? The guy
This is wire harnessing heaven, guys. Haltech, you name it. It's all here. So we're here at Turbo Joe's. We're dropping off the B5. As you guys know, we're going to be installing the radium dual pump surge tank, and then our fuel injector clinics 2150s that we modified to work because no one makes a decent injector for the 24 valve 2.8. The highest flowing we could find was like 1500 cc's. So this is 2100 cc's, 2150s versus our 1400s that are currently in the car. So that and the pump should get us to what we need to make more power, so we can inject more FETA fuel inside the B5. So really excited about that. So we're back. We're dropping off the B5. They're outside, and we should be back in 2 weeks, hopefully in time for SoCal Euro. Tuned. We can drive down there, have some fun, go with the caravan, showcase the car. But I can't wait to make more power. Now the car's still wild and crazy. 750 wheel, and you know, nearly almost 700 like wheel torque is it's a very scary car, especially in a manual. Let me just say, it's a really unique experience. But I'm gonna tell you now, you know, obviously the RS3 is fast, but just something about driving a rowdy, you know, 6-speed manual that breaks the tires loose pretty much every gear. I can't wait to make more power. Just hopefully I can control it. So how much power are we making in the B5, Joe? We're making what, 3,000, 3,500 wheel horsepower?
We'll find out how well you build your engine, right?
How much did you make last time?
We made 754 wheel.
755.
UGR, we're coming for you. No, we're just kidding. We're not coming after UGR. If we can make, yeah, go ahead. Move the TIG one, Stav. Hopefully we can make 850, 900 wheel on stock cam, maybe a little bit more, and more wheel torque. You know, it still has a stock rear diff, stock trans, stock axles, so we'll probably be breaking those.
If it doesn't hook, you probably don't break it.
No, you just
as long as it spins, right? The problem is gonna be when it hooks. Then you're gonna be kaboom, bringing up all the gears from the bottom of the car, man.
Yeah, I think the first event we're gonna take it to is Shift Sector in October, and I'm gonna pretty much roll into it. But
yeah, so if you do a roll, you'll be all right.
you think the stock rear diff on the B5 is gonna hold up on a roll, making that kind of power?
On the roll, yeah.
Okay. So we may be looking at some DSS axles, some, I don't know, Stav was looking at R33, R34 rear upgrades to kind of convert the car.
The axle is the last thing. You do want to have a cushion of the, like
Like
you
what?
know, to go to part, which should break if case something happens. Diff, you don't want to break that. You rather have the axle be the weak point.
So what do you recommend for the B5 on the rear diff? Does the silver car you have out there making 800 wheel, does that have a stock rear diff?
Like fifth one already again.
And we have like 2 or 3 spares too. That's the killer.
The thing is, everybody uses the R200 diff.
I never really tried to reinvent the wheel and try to change a different diff.
So every time it popped, you guys just swapped it out?
Make the car hook, that hook from launch, it's fine.
Yeah, now with my car, we'll want to gut it out and like put dry radials and all that stuff.
Obviously, the weight's gonna help you big. Like,
12 valve with his car.
You know, 800 plus horsepower. Once you get the weight out of it,
He knows it's not
Yeah.
going to have power. Look at his face.
Yeah. What do you say? What?
No, nothing.
What happened in the last race? What happened the last race?
We didn't race the last race.
all-
Anyway, Turbo Joe, we're going to get out of your hair.
when you race the Audis against each other,
Nah,
No, we didn't race.
It wasn't really a race. One guy went by me. The other guy broke down and pulled out. He broke his throttle body.
No, I did a pull, and the welds gave on one of the pipings, one of the throttle body.
It's like Fast and the Furious.
But here's the credit that I
Hey.
gave you and Haltech online is that even with the pipe disconnected, making no boost, the thing drove smooth as butter all the way home. So that's the one thing that I got to say.
Your car had no power
it's
before.
all about you know the mapping. If the mapping is right, it doesn't matter if boost or no boost, it should run fine. Unless your leak is after the throttle body, that's different. You can't control that because you're gonna have a certain
You know what he
cylinder
does
running
blame you?
leak.
He does blame you a lot on? Every time he stalls. He's like, oh, damn Turbo Joe. He's like, but I drove the car to LA last time.
Why would you stall?
No,
Because he's used to driving the RS3 where he can.
I'm not stalling. It's not true.
You know, he can drive with the cruise control on the steering wheel. He's not very good at driving stick shift. That's the problem.
That's not true. All right, we're going to get out of each other's hair. But guys, thanks for watching. We're dropping off the B5 here for more power. A lot of details to come. Really excited to continue working with Turbo Joe and get the car back on the dyno and making more power. More power, baby. More power. So thanks for tagging along, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys on the next video as we finish putting together Stav's motor with a crap ton of lube everywhere. There's going to be lube everywhere, guys. Lube everywhere. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. This is George. That's Stav. That's Joe. This is Malaka Motorsports. I'll see you guys in the next video.